So now you're just being recognized and obviously well associated. So the door is open for you. So let me ask you, now you're becoming really a public figure, which wasn't how you started. That wasn't where you began. But now, how did you move into speaking about what you were doing? What was that transition like?
So, so during this period from medical school till private practice, I was already developing the ability to speak under difficult circumstances. If I could teach criminals, then I could do it. But so I had already honed my ability to speak and speak well. And the power of language and the ability to use words to empower people was already known to me, but I was doing it on a one-on-one basis. I was not doing it on a one-to-many basis.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, the first thing that came up was one of the things about speaking and communicating that people don't realize is not too many people the know what powerful communication is. See, to communicate, you to truly communicate, you need to own the listening of the listener. To be able to communicate, you can't just say something and walk away. You have to be, because right now I'm saying something, you are listening to me, but you're not only listening to me, you're also listening to what you are saying about what I am saying. And that internal chatter that's going on in you, that internal commentary that's going on in you is often more powerful than what I am saying. So if my words have to impact you, I have to penetrate into you and take over your inner voice so that the voice you hear inside you is the same as my voice. To do that, I have to connect. To connect, I have to be a space where not only am I vulnerable, I have to be a space where you can be vulnerable. And when two people are vulnerable, there is communion. And when there is communion, there is communication. This is the secret of speaking. This is the secret of being able to transform people. Because there is no use saying a single word if your words cannot transform. You might as well not say anything.
I have never heard it put that way before, but I think that's brilliant, actually. I've never heard it said like that before, and I think that that will impact our listeners so much about
So,
taking over
so
the
the
experience
key,
for the other person.
so the key becomes, and I developed the skill over the years, first being able to do this with one person in front of me on a one-on-one. Then later being able to do it with two or three people sitting in a private small classroom and I am taking over their minds. All right. And there's nothing insidious about it. I'm not trying to hypnotize anybody. But I'm taking over their minds because I'm showing them a better way. I'm showing them a way out of criminality. And that is what happened in medical school. During those years, I created of dark, in the midst of darkness, there was a lamp of knowledge, a sanctuary that was lit. And with that lamp, I lit up the darkness and the darkness receded. And those people were rescued. They are all doctors now. Maybe they are not doing anything more than just being a pathologist. Maybe they are just sitting there running a clinical lab, but they are doctors. And because of them, they are not killing people, they are saving people. So the truth is, that is the power of communication. And there is no, you see, most people talk about communication like as if it's words. It's not. Communication is connection. So when you connect, how can you connect if you're insulating yourself behind a wall of fear? When you have identities and you have a dress of your own ego, your title, your position, all of that, those are all barriers. You can't connect. The only way to connect is to connect as humans. And then when you walk into a room, you don't try to connect with people. What you do is you connect with yourself. You find the ability to remain grounded. And this is where I come to the next point. All of us, our consciousness has two sides. One is awareness. Awareness is the ability to perceive, to receive the input from reality. Reality is all around us. There are photons striking the retina of our eyes. There are molecules wafting up our nostrils and striking our olfactory senses. There are small molecules that fall upon our tongue and give us taste. There is wind that comes and strikes our eardrums and gives us sound. There is objects that touch our skin and give us touch. Through these impacts, we perceive the world. But that is only one side of the story. The second side that we have is we have the ability to create a name, form, and a story out of these impacts. A newborn child does not have a story. It is just experiencing the world without giving it a name and a form, without giving it meaning. But as it grows, it develops meaning. It is taught. Its mother teaches. This is an apple. This is an egg. This is a flower. That's a bird. Through this teaching, it develops the tools to create meaning. Then some of these experiences that the newborn child gets, some it likes, some it does not like. And in this way, it develops preferences. It develops distaste and revulsions. And it develops attraction and repulsion. So in this way, we create our life. The story of our life is created through these elements. But deep within, the narrative, the story we create is not an accurate representation of reality. It is an approximate representation of reality. The problem comes when we think that the narrative, the story of our life is actually reality. It is not. 99.99% of humanity is trapped in the narrative, thinking the narrative is real. The narrative is created by you.
And then everyone has an individual experience.
And there are some common and there is unique. There are some common themes that are universal to the species. Dogs have certain common narratives. Humans have certain common narratives. Those narratives are the domain of being human, the species of being human. A bumblebee has a narrative that is the species of being a bumblebee. Then individuals within that species have unique narratives that are unique to them. So you have certain common narratives that is common to all human beings. You, me, we all have that. Then you have certain, layered upon that are some unique narratives that you have picked up and created for yourself. But regardless, the common or the unique, it is still not reality. It is an approximation of reality. Now, when you understand this really well, you become emancipated. You become liberated because you recognize that you have skill. You don't have to be in the narrative. If you don't like this, you can change it at will, whenever, wherever. And,
I
and because of that, see, when you're stuck on a narrative, you are stuck on a position, on an identity. You can't change. You are Republican, you are Democrat, you are this, you are man, you are woman. All right. You are white, black, brown. You are privileged, you are poor, you are rich, you are weak, you're brilliant, you're bright, you are dumb, you're a dunce, you're a moron. All these are narratives. And when you are a victim of narratives, you are stuck. You can't change it. But when you are in awareness, when you're grounded in awareness, you are in what I call the eye of the sensory cyclone of life. Our narratives are the sensory cyclone. It spins around us all the time. But you stand in the eye of awareness and you can see the narratives and you can decide which narrative you want to play with today. And you can decide which narrative you want to make it the theme of this phase of your life. And you can decide which narrative you want to make the theme the next phase of your life. And you will bounce, you will move from one phase to another phase with a lightness of being that has no residue of regret of what you gave up. You will hold to no position and you will own all positions.
And in the end, it's the power of choice. And once you realize that you have the power of choice and you can change your own narrative, then you're in control of your own destiny.
It is not you can. You created the narrative. Of course you can change it.